Now the field begins to form in their three abreast formation down the backstretch. Tom, Ari, both of you have been in this position. What are your final thoughts half a lap from the green flag?
Well, again, you hope you've talked to your dance partners. The dance floor is going to get crowded coming down that front straightaway. And again, everybody's looking for a smooth start. They've had to modify their strategy, and because of the rain.
I think guys right now are thinking a little bit different than normal. I think they're anticipating maybe a shorter race, so they're all going to be just a little bit more aggressive on the start. So let's look for this one to be a little bit different.
All right, as they move out of turn number 4 now, Eliseo Salazar moves to his outside position in the front row. The field moves on to the main straightaway. They come down, and Howard Katz, the president of ABC Sports, waves the green flag, and the 84th Indianapolis 500 is underway.
Look at Robbie Gordon on the inside of his teammate.
And he gives way to his teammate, Greg Ray, who moves into the lead as they go through corner number 2. But Robbie Gordon with a very, very aggressive move at the drop of the green flag. Looks like all the field moving through turn number 2 now, and they come down the backstretch for the first time. And the battle is for second position as Montoya gets second spot now.
Well, there might be some inter-squad talking on those radios between those two teammates here.
Yeah, Robbie Gordon got on the inside there, but got quite a little bit squirrely. That could have been more than just getting through the first turn safely.
Robbie got a good jump. They're supposed to keep 100-foot intervals between the lines, and obviously Robbie was going to the front in a hurry.
That's Jeff Ward taking the position from Mark Dismore as they go into turn number 1. This is the third straight Indianapolis 500 that Greg Ray has led. He came into this event having led 50 laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
That in car was of Dismore. That was inside Dismore's car that we had that quick shot of.
And the field is very close here. As you can see, we could have all the cars in one shot here, but at the start of the race it looked like it was stretched out quite a bit. There was more than 100 feet between those rows.
There really was. Obviously coming through turn 4, they scrambled to try to get lined up, but Robbie Gordon scrambled the hardest.
Not a very safe start nevertheless, and that lap 213.2 miles an hour for the leader. Second place, Montoya, was a little bit quicker at 213.4. That's Eliseo Salazar running in 4th position behind Robbie Gordon. Jeff Ward is 5th, and Sharp is in 6th spot.
Well, Montoya did a nice job at the start. A lot of people concerned about the rookie in the front row, but this kid's got some talent and used his head on that start.
Oh, for sure. He's been using his experience, obviously, that he acquired last year in kart, and being a champion there doesn't really qualify him as a rookie anymore, but this is his first race here, so we'll label him that way now, but certainly not as a driver in the cockpit.
And the interval is just about a second between first and second position. There is Gordon, Eliseo Salazar 4th. In comes Jeff Ward. 215.4, the best lap. And that was turned in by Juan Montoya. So he's the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment, but still is running in second position. We're on board with Jeff Ward, who runs in 5th spot, about 5.6 seconds behind Greg Ray up ahead.
But yeah, the drivers are just trying to settle in now. They're trying to get a pace. They're trying to get a feel of what the car's giving them, what the balance is, and they'll be either moving sway bar adjusters or changing the weight from the left front to the right front, just trying to balance the car and feel the track conditions because of the rain. And Thursday was the last day they were on the racetrack, so things have changed, Ari.
And it's a long time ago I've seen the whole field actually be that close together as they come down the front straight going into turn 1 and 2. The whole field is really close together still, and we're going to look at an exciting and close race here.
10th and 11th right here. Robbie Buell, followed closely by last year's Rookie of the Year here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Robbie McGee.
Robbie McGee is holding his position. He started 12th. Right now in 11th place. He's just filling his car out. And these guys, after about 10 laps, will give their crews an idea of what their car is doing. The crews will take notes, and then the driver will come back another 10 laps later, and they'll keep track of what he's saying.
There you see some drivers who have gained some spots here in the first 5 laps of the race. Eddie Cheever has gained 3. Ayrton Dare has gained 4 positions. There, once again, the interval between first and second, and Jack Arute has an update on the leader, Greg Ray.
Well, when Robbie Gordon made that move on his teammate, Greg Ray remained silent on the radio. Then the lap after that, Thomas Knapp came on very calmly and said, Greg, find a gear and find a rhythm. Rhythm right now, guys, is the most important thing. And they like the way Greg Ray is setting the rhythm right now.
Well, again, Knapp was telling him to find a gear. Some of the cars are running actually 3 top gears, 3 high gears, depending on the traffic situation. Now, a lot of the teams are only running 2 high gears because of a reliability problem. So this will be something that we're going to have to follow as the race develops.
As they start the race on a full fuel load, they will start in 4th gear and then start hitting the rev limiter, immediately go to 5th gear. And then the 6th gear is kind of a cruise gear to save gas. But Montoya's clawing in.
Just about complete 7 laps here in the 84th Indianapolis 500. It's Greg Ray, Juan Montoya, and Robbie Gordon back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
ABC Sports.
Back live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the 84th 500 is underway after a rain delay. 11 laps have been completed. This is the battle for 17th. That's Ayrton Dare and Al Unser Jr. right behind him.
Well, actually, Dare made a great start, has gained a couple spots, Bob. Al may have been a little more conservative, but now he's right back on his tail.
He's moved, he closed in on him. He almost passed him, and then he had to back off a little bit. And right behind this group is a second group of Sarah Fisher and Jason Leffler. Those 2 rookies fighting it out for the next 2 positions.
Dare was leading at Las Vegas when his gearbox failed. Al Unser Jr. went on to win. There is Sarah Fisher, who is shown in the 20th position. Right ahead of her is Jason Leffler.
Well, Sarah might be a little faster than Leffler now, but she's just trying to learn some things here. Feel what the car's like when it's in that dirty air, the turbulent air that we experience when the race happens.
That's right. I mean, here we are in the first 20 laps of her life in the Speedway, and I bet you the last 20 laps she'll know a lot more than right now.
As the schooling continues on Sarah Fisher, she has been told by Derek Walker to set a steady pace and go nice and easy. Meanwhile, up front, you talked about the fact that about now teams will start to get reports on what the cars are doing. That's the case with Greg Ray.
Well, a great battle for the lead as Juan Montoya tries to get around. Greg Ray got bottled up behind Lynn St. James, and now Robbie Gordon goes to 2nd position. Robbie Gordon passes Juan Montoya here on the main straightaway and goes into 2nd spot, and now maybe he can do what he wanted to do on lap number 1 when they dropped the green flag, and that is take the lead.
And that's a typical example of when you go for a guy in front of you, then you get cut off, you lose all your momentum, then the guy behind you just drives right by you, and that happened to Montoya.
Well, again, traffic and momentum, Ari, this year with the little smaller motors. Right there, Robbie had a run. Look how he lost the nose.
Montoya goes back into 2nd as Robbie Gordon had to lift because of Lynn St. James, and that was all Montoya needed to take over 2nd spot once again.
Well, Robbie had to lift because he got in that turbulent air, had to roll out of the front.
And now Salazar goes around Robbie Gordon, and Salazar moves to 3rd.
That's how much momentum Robbie lost. He's lost 2 positions because Lynn St. James, I think her spotter, forgot to tell her that the guys are coming up to lap her.
So that puts Gordon now back to 4th position, and boy, did he lose momentum. He was up there in a spot to battle for the lead, but now finds himself back in 4th as again the slower traffic tries to get around Lynn St. James. That's Jeff Ward there going into turn number 3 as he is in 5th position. Right behind him is Scott Sharp. Then Cheever, Vassar, and Waddles completing the top 5 are on board with Jeff Ward.
And here we see them closing in pretty big on the guy in front of him because he got held up by the car in front of him. So there's Lynn St. James on your right, letting him go by.
I think Lynn rolled out of it there to let those guys go.
Yep, now she got it.
But it's just an example. We're going to see this all day, Bob, this momentum thing, the traffic situation. The motors are a little bit smaller. They've lost about 75 horsepower from last year's motors, and so the draft and momentum are going to be big key elements as this race develops.
Now on board with Scott Sharp as he also slides to the inside of St. James as they approach turn number 3.